You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox on KLOS. That was Montrose, Rock Candy, hot, sweet, and sticky. Right?
Right.
Not hard, sticky.
Hot.
Before that was Circus, In the Arena. You ever heard of them?
Of course.
Have you?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't think anyone had heard of that. Where were they from, Circus? Were they a LA thing?
Circus? I don't think so.
They were back in the day, though, right? Early 70s?
Yeah, very back in the day.
Yeah. We started off with Nick Gilder, Roxy Roller. I know you know that one.
Yes, for sure.
We have Lita Ford in the studio with us. How are you, hon?
I'm doing great.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
You look good.
Thank you.
What you been up to? You got a book out?
Got a book out. We've been touring, doing a book tour. We're promoting the book now and just doing some local book signings in the area. Tonight, we're going to be at the Bootleg Theater at about 8 o'clock.
Where's that?
Well, I don't know the address. Do you have the address?
Yeah, people can look it up. It's the Bootleg Theater. It's on Beverly, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, it's local.
Okay.
Los Angeles.
Where do you live? You still live in California, right?
I do. I just moved back to Los Angeles in 2012.
Where was you?
I was in the Caribbean.
You moved there? I
lived in the Turks and Caicos Islands for approximately 10 years.
You're kidding me.
No. We went there.
Who's we?
My husband, my ex-husband, and my two boys. We went there to... Well, he wanted to go there. I didn't really want to go because it was so isolated, but I had to go. So we lived on North Caicos, which is even more desolate. There's 1,500 people per square mile in Miami, and in Miami, on the island, there's 1,500 people on the entire island.
So I'm sure there's no secrets there then.
No, I mean, if someone shows up on that island, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
So no secrets on that island. But there's literally nothing there. There's no
cars, nothing.
Nothing. There's no roads on North Caicos. There's no stop signs or you just drive. We drove around in four-wheelers.
Yeah.
Is what we used.
Was what country does that come under?
It's British.
So they speak English?
Yes, they speak English. And there's a lot of people from Haiti there, so their second language is French.
French, okay, yeah. Wow, 10 years, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Did you leave often, though, to tour or anything, or you were pretty much there?
I would take off every once in a while when I could get away. But it's a long story. It wasn't wasn't as fun. I was, yeah.
Wow.
I was. I didn't want to live there.
Yeah.
I did not want to live there. It was nice. It's good for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's nice for the summer vacation at most, but 10 years in a deserted island is way too much. Especially
being a city slicker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I would have swam. I would have got like they did at Alcatraz, made a boat and kind of did a runner.
That's actually what I call it in my book is Alcatraz.
You do?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But then we moved to Florida.
Papillon is another one.
Yeah, yeah. I would love to play a prison. Have you ever played a prison?
Yeah.
Which one?
1976, Chelmsford Prison.
Really?
Yeah. Prior to us, kind of, we were together, the Sex Pistols, and we were doing a few shows. But yeah, we did a prison. It was a high security prison, Chelmsford Prison. It was cool. And it's funny. There's always the nut job sitting up the front who wants to go nuts.
Oh my God. I would go nuts if I was in a prison.
Yeah. It was fun though. It was fun. And that day was the day Paul Cook finished his apprenticeship with Watney's Beer Brewery, and that day was the day he decided to join the Sex Pistols because he was on the fence, Cookie. even though he loved it. He was, he's one of them guys who don't take chances. He don't just say F it and steam in. He kind of, that's his personality. And that day, he showed up drunk because he got his apprenticeship. Not that he ever used his apprenticeship, but he wanted something to fall back on in case the Sex Pistols didn't take off.
Right.
He was the reason we auditioned other guitar players, because no one could think that I could cut it after playing for 3 months, which on paper, as far as music that went before us, I couldn't play at all. I barely knew like a few chords. So he was the one who said, look, we got to audition other guitar players. So we did that. It was fun doing that, but at the end of all that auditioning, we just said, screw it. We don't need another guitar player. No one had any good, what fitted in, showed up anyway. Mick Jones from The Clash showed up when he had all his hair long and he looked like...
Oh, really?
And he had tights on and high heels. He kind of looked like Johnny Thunders.
Right.
Right. He was in a band called the London SS at the time. And I'm sure you've auditioned guitar players.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so entertaining. You got to film it because you get all kinds of clowns.
One guy came in to audition for me, and he pulls out this green guitar. It's a Mockingbird, B.C. Rich.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that guitar, and I'm thinking, that's my guitar. It's my guitar. He had come to audition for my band, and he says, do you like my new guitar? I said,
I think that's going to get him in.
Yeah, I love it. Where did you get it? And he says, I bought it off some guy on the street. It was my guitar.
It literally was your guitar?
It literally...
What, was it stolen?
It was stolen.
How long before this guy showed up it was stolen?
Months prior.
And so he didn't have no idea?
He had no idea.
Did you get it back off him?
I couldn't do it to him. He was so in love with this guitar, because it was a badass guitar. It was like a lime green guitar, and it had a ebony fretboard, just beautiful, and it sounded wicked. And he says, you love my new guitar? And I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. And I had to bite my tongue and not...
Oh, man, I don't know you did that.
I didn't say that's my guitar. I let him keep it.
Well, that's very nice of you.
I couldn't do it. But he didn't get the gig, obviously.
Yeah. That's bizarre.
Yeah, pretty bizarre.
So then you came back from Kirks and Takeos. Did I say it right?
Turks. Like turkey.
Yeah, turkey and cakey. You came back from there.
Yeah.
And now you're back in Los Angeles?
Yeah, we lived in Florida for a while. While I went through the divorce, we lived in Florida. And while I was going through the divorce, I wrote Living Like a Runaway album.
Yeah.
And then now we've...
When did you do your book?
Done the book. The book has been a long process. I know there's a lot of people that have been waiting for this book to come out. But I had trouble with some of the co-authors in trying to find their voicing, trying to find my voicing. They couldn't quite wrap their head around a chick, a female in a rock world, and they weren't getting it. So I pretty much ended up writing it myself. So this is why it took so long to be released. And I know some of the fans were getting upset because there was pre-orders and the book was just in limbo for a while.
Yeah.
So I just sat down in the summer of 2015 and just plowed through the book and wrote the entire thing.
How'd you write it? On a typewriter or a pen and paper?
No, just email. I just would email it to a friend of mine who helped me piece it all together.
Yeah. Was that hard to do that?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Like, if you'd have known better, would you have found someone to do all that for you?
I don't know that anybody could.
Because I'm in the middle of doing a book.
We tried it. You've got to find somebody who will capture your voice.
Translate it to you, yeah.
So it really reads like you are telling the story.
It's like hairdressers.
It is.
Most hairdressers want to cut the hair the way they think you should look.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
So be careful with who you compare your
I've got a guy
stories with.
I'm almost finished. He's just putting it together right now.
Oh, good.
And I like him. He's an English guy. It had to be someone English who
had to be.
knew where I kind of grew up and blah blah blah. And so far so good. I think he's going to do a good job.
Good. I'm glad. I bet you got a great story.
Yeah, there's a lot of sex in it.
Of course, it's rock and roll.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sex in mine too.
Talking about sex. Should we play some music and come back?
Sure.
Let's rock out for a second.
You got me hanging now.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I'm teasing. I'm learning this thing called radio called teasing, right? And I'm doing it. Okay. You're listening to Jonesy's Jukebox. On KLOS, my guest is Lita Ford. Let's play some Runaways, School Days. Take it away.